Alright, just a little add-on to the video. I did walking, and so maybe I'll edit the two together. But anyway, quick debate between me and, me, Thunderbrain, and the other guy who's full of shit. Creationist guy. Okay, so why do you believe in the stupid God thing? Because the Bible says so. That's why. Why else would... I don't need any other reason. The Bible says so. But no, why... Like, let's say, why is the Bible an authority? That's a good question. Because it says right in the Bible, it's the authority. It's like God says, I'm God, you listen to me, and there, problem solved. No, let's say we're going to have like an intelligent conversation. What evidence, like how do you persuade me that that book is the book? I could persuade you that you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in it. I could say that. Yeah, well, that's just more. You're going, oh yeah, I can threaten you too. Believe what I say, or I'll shoot you with my finger gun. That's bullshit. You gotta do better than that. So, well, here, just answer the easy questions. Okay. So you say something couldn't come from nothing. The universe is too complex. We're too complex. It can't just evolve. Blah blah blah. It has to be a God. Okay. So where did your God come from? He was always there. Yeah, he was always there, always. But that's not an answer to the question, right? You're saying you can make a God come from nothing. He can just poof. He can just exist forever and ever and ever. And you're saying a universe can't, though. So, I mean, if we have the universe can exist forever and ever and ever, I mean, that's an incredibly long time for things to evolve. So they could get very complex. I mean, you really do understand how simple forces can make things change, correct? Yeah, but there's nothing simple about that DNA thing is complex and all that kind of stuff. That's complicated. You can't just poof that. Yeah, well, look, the science doesn't say it was poofed, okay? Matter evolves. It starts off in the sun, okay? It's, and matter is created out of energy. And it's all made out of energy. Well, you know this. This is basic, high school science. Yeah, why didn't I, God knows high school science, so God did it. Right, but now we're just back to the same question. You're saying God did it, but you have no evidence that God did it. So why don't we ask? Why can't we ask your God to to give us some evidence? Well, he's not in the evidence game. He's in the play with your psychology and torment you game. Well, no, that's not the right answer to give. He's in the he knows, and it's your job to figure it out. And then you're rewarded for figuring it out. That's the game he's playing. It's the you be a smart person and know God is God game. Well, again, that's not a fucking argument. I mean, I can say that about any crazy, loopy philosophy. I can just build into the philosophy the catch that, yes, if you believe, we'll give you the Einstein Award. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Why is your God playing this secret game? Because that's the way gods are, I mean, they spend a lot of time introspecting, on their own, and so they like games, because that's really what they have much else to do, right? It's because they know everything, so they need a game to play, to pass the time. Ooh, yeah, that was a brilliant answer. Thanks. So anyway, we'll continue this some other day, but just an example. See, this is the way to have the debate. Okay, you don't waste time, saying that's a very nice suit you're wearing. No, that's just a waste of time. All right, kind of a bonus extra video, making an extra trip to the pool, so I figure I'll make another video. And really sorry about the walking videos. They've got to be annoying, but so what? Don't watch them. Bastards. Anyway, God, I hate the comments on my videos. I really hate the commenters. It's either irrelevant nonsense or just completely fucked-hearted stupidity. Well, anyway, on to the subject, which, there's lots of good subjects, but I think I'll just do the Thunderfoot thing. He had this debate with the creationist guy, and, it's like a 10 parts or 8 parts, whatever. Boringest goddamn thing I ever watched. Really lame on both sides. I mean, both sides seemed incapable of making a coherent argument, or one that was at least a bit interesting. So, it was bad. But I really, a little petty complaint, but I mean, it gets so much attention, Thunderbrain, and, hundreds of 5-star ratings for mediocre videos. It just really pisses me off. It's a waste of acknowledgement of good job well done, because it was a job poorly done. And so anyway, he's made a video, admitting that it's not his thing. He's not great at this stuff, and he highlighted the point underlying it all, which I already forgot because it was so nothing. Well, we demonstrated that the difference between our beliefs is, we're both fucktards. No, I don't know. I mean, well, whatever. It was a very good apology video. I'll give him that credit. Okay, it was very sympathetic. I felt bad. I said, yeah, it's really not his thing. He did okay, blah, blah, blah. But still, I mean, it sucked. So, period. So anyway, I mean, the important argument is, the guy starts off the video saying, the creationist nut, I know the truth. It's in this here book. So yeah, I mean, that should have been where the conversation went. Why is this book better than the other dopey books? And he's going to say something like, well, because when I read this book, it speaks to me. Little magic words fly off the pages and go right into my heart and say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And Thunderfoot could simply say, well, that doesn't happen to everybody else. So I guess until God decides to make that little Jesus thing happen to everybody else when they read the words, there's really nothing to debate here, is there? I mean, you don't have anything rational to say about evolution. There's no evidence in the evolutionary record, the scientific record of God creating Adam and Eve. That certainly doesn't exist. There's lots of evidence that we evolved, not that we were poofed. And the same is true for all these other animals. And the only evolution issue they even touched on, I think, I didn't watch every minute of it, but 90% of it, was speciation. And the fact that there's a lack of fossil evidence in the record. And that one's such an easy one to argue, because we know now, because of the mechanics of what it requires to create speciation. And it doesn't happen in huge population, it happens in small populations. It's just so stupid. Alright, back to where I was. Speciation. So we sort of know the dynamic now, that populations migrate into unknown territory. There's probably a bit of incest that goes on, and bingo, you've got a new species. Because the changes that take place will be in an isolated population, and it's not going to mix with the old, and that's going to be it. It's going to be conquering a new environment, which is likely going to create a boom in population. So it's a perfectly logical explanation. No God required. Sorry. And so anyway. So there's no other, arguments about the biology. Thunderfoot never pointed out something obvious like, well, the first cell was a consuming and reproducing machine, and everything in the science points to the fact that if you let something that can consume and reproduce and modify itself based on changes to a blueprint, not necessarily changes to a structure, that over time it will evolve into all kinds of things. And there's nothing you could do to restrain that. And that if we did such an experiment on another planet, dopey creationist guy wouldn't assume that everything would stay exactly the way it was when you put it there, as God sort of had some sort of expectation that it was going to do that. The other arguments, there's so many arguments against the religious argument, but even in the whole creation thing, why would God be that sloppy? And why does God have to play the secretive game? Why couldn't he just point out that, the dinosaurs were just something I had in my imagination. I said, bad idea, and so I buried them all. So anyway, so I'm tired. That's really annoying. So yeah, Thunder Brain did stutter a bit too, which wasn't too good. But anyway, it just was a shitty argument. So what? But you know, maybe somebody, I don't know who, needs to make a video where they do both parts, the creationist and the non-creationist, and have the debate with themselves, because it might be more entertaining than the real thing. It's really the argument's got to be about is, well, what? You accepted this Christ story, why? Because it's the most popular story. And why is it popular? Oh, that's right. Because they showed the Bible to every other civilization on earth and said, do you believe in this book? And if they didn't say yes, they killed them. You know, it's got no credibility as a story of the truth.